So I have so many items on my table that I am interested in working on. So we will see which ones I get done today for today's video. This is always my inspiration board of things that I've thrifted, that I have ideas to make. So yeah, I don't always get them all done, but it's which one, each step I'm inspired to do. Yes, I have a table full of inspirations that I want to create, make over for you all, and we'll just see which ones I get to in this video. That for whatever reason, it's a cute little box, but you know, sometimes you have to stage them all to get people to buy them. So I like it, but I'm going to make it into a little riser. I'm going to take some time first and we're going to sand this. As I'm sanding, I'm like, oh, there is a big old nail sticking through the bottom. So let's see if I can get that out before it hurts somebody. Structurally, I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, that's for sure. So Chris cut me down a board. My main purpose of sanding this is it was rounded in the middle. So I want to use it as a riser. You want to have that a little bit flatter. So I really concentrated on the top. So he cut me a piece of pallet wood that would sit on here, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get this sanded also. There's a gentleman that makes legs and candle holders and stuff like that in our antique booth. He doesn't have an online store, but I have bought items from him before. Which side do I want? I think I want this side. So we're going to give these some sweet little, since this is a box, when I saw these in his booth, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like $3.75 for the set. You can't even buy that price for hardwood. These are hardwood. You can't even buy these at like Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. So okay, this is the side that I'm going to drill on, but I want to make sure that I've got these all placed. Okay, then I'm going to glue the legs on. Okay, now that we have our legs on, I'm going to go ahead and get some tight bond glue. Not a lot of edge here to nail in. So. I am going to paint this. I'm not going to leave it raw wood, just with, you got too many different wood species here. So I'm going to seal it in with some shellac because when I go to paint it, this is so dry, it's just going to suck in all my paint and not give it any character whatsoever. It's just going to look like it's painted. For some chippiness, some age, like it's already been out in the weather. So I'm going to be using some Flour Sack Sweet Pickins milk paint. Doesn't have to be pristinely covered by any means because we want it to look aged in weather. So do not use Sweet Pickins milk paint. It's a powder paint that you mix with water equal parts. This is just tap water, room temperature, nothing fancy. And then you go ahead and you stir it together, incorporating all the powder in with the water, making sure you're scraping your sides, scraping the bottom. Stir it and stir it and stir it for about 2 minutes, making sure it's all incorporated. Then set it off to the side and let it thicken up a bit. But I am going to make this so it's chippy, so I'm going to use some of the Sweet Pickins beeswax. It seems like it's good and sturdy, so that's a good thing. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not looking for perfect. Some more beeswax on the top. Stay on my board. Have a stash of boxes like I do. Like Chris gets tools and stuff to resell. That's what his love is. And a lot of times they come with boxes or in boxes. That's where I found some of my really good tins. As men back in the day used tins and boxes to store their garage stuff in. So I have quite the stash, and I'm like, I need an idea of what to do with all these boxes sometimes. So this is a great idea. It's a unique idea, that's for sure. Okay, 2 coats of paint. And then in between the second coat, more wax. But I would like to see a lot of the wood, so we're going to go ahead. I'm not going to seal it in first. I'm going to go ahead and just sand it. Like the way that it distressed. You just never know how the beeswax and the milk paint are going to react with each other, especially when the wood is so raw. Even though I did shellac, it's just soaking it in. So I'm going to go ahead and seal it in now. Okay, we're going to finish this up by using some aging wax. Just bring out a little bit more of that detail. Even though I sealed it in, it still wants to take a little bit dark. I don't want it that dark, so I have some of the clear. It's always good to test out your bottoms first. Your clear is like your eraser. So I still want to see the white. I don't want it to be brown. So this is a little bit on the big side, but I either like a display piece or a plant stand. Oh my goodness, it is large. Somebody's homemade piece for something. Though I'm going to go ahead and paint it up a different color because I may keep it for myself. There's a little embellishment here, so I do want to give it a scuff sanding anyway. It does have a weird, like, flat head screw going on here. I'm going to see if I can remove it. It looks like it might have had a repair at one time. Yeah, that'll tighten it up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get it wiped down. It almost reminds me of maybe it was a chalk paint. Maybe actually even DIY's chalk paint or clay-based paint. Okay, now I want to seal whatever the paint is that this, I don't know what it is. So we're going to seal it in with a couple coats of shellac. My plant stand, display stand, I'm going to mix basil and Cheshire together. one of basil. They both still have that underlying like blue tone, I think. And so if this chips off to be any of that blue underneath, I thought that would be perfect. But I wanted to darken this up just a little bit. And I'm out of in the pickle, so. Or I probably would have gone within the pickle. Cow, this is a big piece. It is. So I'm going to start off with the bottom first. I am actually thinking I want a little bit of chippiness so you see that blue, but I'm not going to like try to make that happen on the bottom that you're not really even going to see. But I think that mixture blends well with the blue that's underneath. If it chips off or it crackles, you see that's the one that you're going to see. It's like a little piece of furniture. I'm going to go ahead and dry it in between coats so that I can get the rest of it painted and not so worry about the underneath. But the underneath needs painted. That way I can move on and paint my second coat. And I'll be surprised if I don't have to make up another batch of paint. And the nice thing about it is the second coat, the first coat attracts that second coat. Kind of going to be working in sections just because I have to do this underneath. So I used the heat gun. I got beautiful cracking, crazing, chippiness going on. So I don't even think I'm going to need to use any of the wax. But I am going to seal the bottom in so I know that that's complete with weather defense. Okay, working section by section here seems to be working. Getting this painted. There's just a lot of angles to get at. Love, 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 love the cracking, the crazing. I let it dry for a little bit after sealing everything in. I'm going to do a little bit of sanding. So I love, 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 love. Can you see it? The blue peeking through. I did pick the right shade, mixed. So I'm going to finish this off with some Fusion's aging wax. So like if it would have had terracotta pots on it, it probably would have had a little bit of dirt. And then that's going to get into all that crazing that's happening that you may not be able to see on camera until I get this put in it. Picked this, talk about little risers. I picked this little tray up. I like the metal handles. I think it's blue, but in my stash, I don't even know like what this was, but I could picture this to be tiny little feet for it and get this painted up a little bit more. Sure, they probably have a little bump on them, so let's get that sanded. Ooh, comes out faster than you think. That's okay. I'm actually going to get these glued on, let the glue set up. There's not enough space to really do a nail. And then I'll put a brad through there. So for this little tray, we've got some feet on it. I think it's super cute. I want to have fun with color. So we are going to do sea glass, which is almost like a turquoise. Or it is a turquoise, one or the other. Now I didn't prep, I didn't sand, I didn't spray shellac or anything like that. I'm just going to go right on top of it. It's that pine that's just really dry anyway, that's going to soak in the paint. But that's going to be bright. Right now anyway. Go ahead and dry in between coats. So I like to take my paint, dip it in a cup with some water. That kind of just helps it spread a little bit easier. I'm going to take a wipe and I'm going to go and try to just do a wash on these just so they match. So it doesn't just look like, oh, I just put legs on this little tray. Because DIY is just it distresses so easy. It wipes off so easy until you seal it in. I've got the legs the way I want them. I want to distress this, but I'm not going to yet because I don't want to. I'd already just cleaned off the handles. I'm not sure. There may not be staying completely black, but I'm going to go ahead and seal this in. And do some power sanding. Okay, to finish this up, I'm just going to be using some aging wax, and that should tie everything all together. Now, DIY paint is not this pristine. It's going to take unevenly. So if you're looking for that, you probably want to use some Fusions paint. But this just has that rustic feel. Now, I love this bunny, but I don't, why is that there? I think that it's wood underneath. I love that he's, running, jumping. So I'm going to see, I think it's just two wood pieces put together. And if you could feel it, it's like a textured spray paint, I'm thinking. So I'm going to take it over to the vise and the Japanese saw and see if I can saw that off. I think it's just glued on. Okay, so this is Chris's side of the workshop. I'm using his little vise that he always has hooked up here, not to break anything. I just need to hold this bunny still and then try to Japanese saw it off. Okay, I think I have enough space now to... Ta-da! All that little glue, and that took that long. I'm going to be making a sign, so I don't need these hanging. I'll be gluing it onto the sign. But I am going to sand where the glue still is. Tried to sand some of that texture off because it was really textured. I'm going to go ahead and seal this in with some shellac. I liked the bunny brown. I just didn't like that odd spot. And I think it's like a MDF powder. I was hoping to make it for an outdoor sign, but it might have to be an indoor sign because MDF swells when it gets... I can tell because it like you don't see that sheen. Every time I put shellac on there, it just keeps soaking in. So well, maybe an outdoor porch or in somebody's she shed. But I'm going to be using DIY's layered chocolate to repaint this little... I liked it brown. I just didn't like that weird bump. Which may be noticeable. So we'll see what happens when I get the first layer of brown on. If I need to make him chippy, I will. Nice thing about DIY paint is you can dry it in between coats. You can really tell where I removed that. So I'm going to use some of the Sea Spray additive by Dixie Belle. And I don't need very much. I don't think. I've never mixed it in with DIY paint, but let's see. Let's test her. Let's test her out. So what it's going to do, it's going to make a textured paint is what it's going to do. Ooh, and I'm going to fluff everything up. Oops. It's all good, y'all. That way I'm making a little bit of a texture. I know you can like distress this, but I'm looking for like the texture that was on there to hide that humongous imperfection where I removed that. Ah, there we go. I'm just mixed it up to the... I didn't even read the instructions. Who needs instructions, right? Oh. Okay, so let's go on to that second coat. That's just going to give it some texture. You can do similar with baking soda. Belly. Okay, now I'll just let it dry. I'm not going to rush it by taking the heat gun to it. That's lots of texture now, and you don't see it. And I could knock it down, but I think I'm going to leave it on there and seal this in with some weather defense. So I think this was like maybe a cabinet door or a door insert. But I think it's just a really nice, unique piece of wood to make a sign out of, to put the bunny on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down. Hopefully everything that chipped then. For my sign, I'm looking for some chippiness, some age, like it's already been out in the weather. So I'm going to be using some Flour Sack Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. Okay, I'm looking for chippiness, so I'm going to use some of the Sweet Pickins Beeswax. Let's look at how well, I can still use so much of this beeswax. So I'm just going to put it on. Okay, and then our flour sack is set up, so I'm just going to proceed on painting it. And then when you use beeswax, you'll see it separating and you think, oh, I didn't get enough paint on. Nope, that's just the beeswax. You just have to leave it alone and let it, that's where you're going to get all that crackling and chippiness, a little bit of chippiness, hopefully. It does do amazing things. We're going to move on to the second coat. I'm going to do another layer of beeswax. I do not mind extra steps when you get beautiful age like this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sand it and see what chips off. Before attaching the bunny and putting any wording on, I'm going to seal this paint in. Weather defense. Okay, so I think just glue. I don't know. We'll see how it works. But Type-On glue is pretty good. It's pretty good adhesive. So okay. So to play it safe, I am going to put some short brads in here. These would go all the way through for sure. If they do, I can clip them off on the other side. But I just really want to make sure that it's attached. At least that made it be nice and tight. Now I can just take off the excess glue that's going on here. That squirted out when it got pulled down by the brads. In the space I have, I'm going to do some of the Funky Junk stencils. And I think I can fit Flower Garden on here. I'm going to trace it and then freehand paint it. There we go. And since I'm doing this one, okay, now I'm just going to paint them in. Black color, I'm going to use the Fusion's Coal Black. Yes, did you know you can get it in a big old size? Yes, you can. Is it faster to stencil it on? You know, using a sponge dabber or dabber? Probably. But sometimes it still is not a for sure that it's not going to make a mess. And then you get to feel like a real artist. I'm not making happy little trees, I'm making happy little flower garden. Okay, I have it all on. I was able to do 2 coats, so it's a little bit darker than what it would have been if I was just pouncing and probably making a mess. So I'm just going to distress it a little bit. They did go through, but all I'm doing is tipping them over to the side. And that'll guarantee that bunny should stay on there. I'm going to put a hanger on it. Actually, I'm going to put a hanger that you will see above it. In case somebody does want to put this outside, I'll seal it all in with weather defense. Okay. Now this is black wire that I got at a hardware store. And as I said, I'm going to, this is for the bunny. Didn't want to smash him. Wanted it to be able to come up and over a little bit if somebody wanted to hang it like on a fence or something outside. so much for watching today's video. I hope I shared an idea too. If you're out thrifting, you're out garage selling, you're out secondhand shopping, or items that you may have laying around your own home. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time, and you can see what I'm painting. Bye.